This is No Tears for Black Girls.
I feel like something's wrong.
Bridget Carrier, grandmother of Deundrea Ford, says it's unlike her granddaughter to disappear for days.
It's too many days.
Deundrea is the mother of a 4-year-old boy.
She'll call every day and talk to him.
I spoke with the manager of the club a little more than an hour ago. He tells me that they warn the women not to go home with any of the men they meet at the bar.
It had been 2 weeks since Deundrea LaKelsia Ford, a 21-year-old mother and beloved daughter, vanished without a trace. She had just left Diva's Bikini sports bar, where she worked for a few weeks, when her life was disrupted. Her family awoke with apprehension on the morning of September 22nd. It was not clear whether she was alive or dead, but they believed that one day they could find her. This is until news emerged that Ford was a witness in a capital murder investigation. Could this be why she was taken? Had someone known who she was and gone after her like prey? Or are sinister forces at play here? Who could have done this? Where is Deundrea? Now more than ever, questions need answering and justice needs to be served. This is Samantha Paul, and welcome to No Tears for Black Girls, a true crime podcast with a purpose.
Yeah, I did. Good evening, Dominique, Anthony. So the last time that someone saw 21-year-old Deundrea Ford was right outside of the Diva's Bikini Sports Bar and Grill. And they've been calling and texting her, but no response yet. And the family says they will keep doing that until she either answers or they find out where she is.
You can't sleep because you don't have any information. They're not giving you no hope, And all I just want her to do is come home.
Bridget Carrier says the family's doing everything they can to find her granddaughter, 21-year-old Deundrea Ford.
Deundrea was more than just a beautiful face that could light up any room with her contagious laughter and love for life. She was a devoted mother of a 4-year-old son who always came first in her world. The two shared many precious moments that were posted on social media platforms. But Deundrea's active online presence caused her sudden death. Court documents got by Reedburg Media revealed Deundrea Ford's name as a victim and witness to capital murder charges connected to the fatal shooting of Otis Parker in May. Reedburg Media obtained court documents identifying Gerald Trayvon Wheeler, Jamal Brown, Mariah Green, and Quitiana Taylor as suspects in Parker's murder. The sworn statement also revealed empty threats against Deundrea Ford's life. The plan exhibited a cruel disregard for others. 2 innocent civilians, Parker and Ford, were to be robbed and murdered in cold blood, all for the grand sum of $1,500. Brown sent an explicit message to Taylor stating, "She got to go too," while the latter replied with chilling indifference, "I'm already knowing." That early morning, as sirens wailed and gunfire filled the air, Parker met his end to bullets while driving the car. Deundrea emerged unscathed from the back door. They arrested and granted the accused bail conditions with a no-contact order to Ford. In a shocking turn of events, Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies shot Brown as they attempted to arrest him for murder. The rest of the defendants remain incarcerated without bail, as this case remains unresolved.
Tonight, new details on the missing Houston woman who was last seen getting into a van outside of the Bikini bar where she worked as a dancer. Court documents now show that Deundrea Ford, she was a key witness in a capital murder case. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle joining us live now from the newsroom to break this case down for us. Sherman.
Yeah, it's a lot of information. As tonight, police have no new details on Deundrea's whereabouts. But our newsroom has managed to find out that the 21-year-old was a witness in a shooting in May that left 1 man dead. 4 people were arrested in this case, including a former Harris County detention officer. Court documents state that on May 10th, Deundrea Ford and 21-year-old Quitiana Taylor traveled to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to work as dancers and prostitutes for clients brought to them by 35-year-old Otis Parker. Parker was driving Taylor and Ford home from Louisiana with the cash the women made there, according to documents. Police say text messages from Taylor indicate she was planning a setup to rob Parker of at least $1,500 in cash when they arrived at an apartment complex complex on Selinsky Road early that morning. Parker was shot and killed. 22-year-old Jamal Brown, also known as Bam, was listed as the shooter, and 22-year-old Jarrell Wheeler was listed as an accomplice, along with Kitiana Taylor and 20-year-old Mariah Green. Jamal Brown was killed a month later in a shootout with police. He had been on the run from the capital murder charge. The three other suspects, including Jarrell Wheeler, a former Harris County detention officer, remains in jail. Now, whether or not the shooting in May is related to Deundrea Ford's disappearance, that's yet to be confirmed. I reached out to Ford's grandmother, who I spoke to yesterday, to get a comment, but I haven't heard back as of right now.
The media throng surrounded the legal representatives of Wheeler and Green, desperate for any shred of evidence that could give them an exclusive story. But they dashed their hopes against a wall of unyielding silence. Angela Welton and James Stafford kept a close eye on their client's case, yet their mournful faces made it clear that her situation was not as dire as it was. Meanwhile, the search for Deundrea Ford continued at full throttle as law enforcers put out a plea to anyone who may have information on her whereabouts. The surveillance camera recordings revealed that Ford had a mysterious Hispanic man join her at Diva's Bikini sports bar club before she vanished. He lavished her with drinks, and they shared an immediate connection. Soon after, the two disappeared into a white van, which drove off without her. A foreboding air hangs over the Carriere family as they search for their beloved Deundrea. The whispers of a warning that she was not safe in Houston echoed through the news. Her grandmother's heartache is undeniable as her desperate plea for her safe return enters the ears of reporters. The family member who asked to remain unnamed recounts how the last person to see Deundrea was another dancer, and that surveillance video showed her with an unidentified man getting into a white GMC Savannah 3-door van. Deundrea had called her ride, a friend of her grandmother, to tell them someone else would take her home, but her ride arrived just when she was leaving with the mysterious figure. Authorities believe the white van lingered in the parking lot for more than an hour with its headlights and taillights off. It is this same van with its concealed New Jersey license plate that is now at the center of the investigation, and it will hopefully lead the Carriere family closer to finding their missing daughter and granddaughter. Deundrea, a black female of 5 feet 4 inches, was last seen wearing a black tank top and tan pants. She has deep brown eyes, black hair, and weighs 170 pounds. If you know anything about Deundrea's whereabouts, please reach out to the Texas Center for the Missing or local law enforcement right away. Help us spread the word by sharing this vital information on your social media pages and leaving a positive review. Be loved, be blessed, and stay safe.
This is No Tears for Black Girls, a true crime podcast with a purpose.